Hi everyone, it's Sal Jade joining you live in How to Be Psychic today. Sorry, I'm a couple of minutes late. I have been recording my new course that's due out on Friday and had a couple of technical difficulties, but I'm here now and I'm really excited to share with you some of the really exciting changes that we've got coming up in the group this year to help How to Be Psychic be a place that will further increase your psychic abilities, help you on your beautiful soul journey as a healer and a psychic, whether or not you're just wanting to practice for fun or whether or not you're wanting to start a business. And so I'm going to go into describing what we're going to do in this year and like how we're going to have more contact with me, just so that I can help you out more, because I realize that sometimes learning online we can feel that we're a bit separate from our instructors. And so what I'm going to be doing is showing up once a month and I'll give you advance notice in this space the way I am now, and I'm going to be sharing with you some of the most common questions that have been asked throughout the month on the Q&A board or in the How to Be Psychic Facebook group, in case you haven't been able to manage to get to either of those. Because what I find with learning with your psychic abilities is it's almost like people intuitively ask the questions that will help you. So even if you're not asking questions, people ask so many amazing questions in this course, and I know that I often look at it and go, wow, that would actually really help everyone, and I should go and do a lecture on that. And I thought, rather than building to your course so you continuously have to feel like you've got to go back to it, I can just do these little monthly upgrades in the group. Now, if you're not in Facebook very often, please don't worry, because what I'll do is I'll leave it here permanently in our videos. You just have to click on it and check on the month, so January, and if you miss a few, you can go back and revisit them. And I'm going to send them out in our educational announcements through the Udemy board as well. So you'll have 2 opportunities to view them. Hello, Leslie. Hello, Shelley Bray. Lovely to see you guys. Thank you to everyone else who's joining me. So before I begin, I'm just going to, give me a sec, I've got it all written out here. Okay, yeah, so first of all, I would just like to say, as I said, we're going to be having the monthly so it's probably going to be the last weekend of the last week of the month, the way it has here. So the next one will be the end of February. Also, for those of you who haven't seen the messages yet, How to Be Psychic now comes with English subtitles. So you can click on the CC in the bottom of your lectures if you would like the transcriptions that come up if you have English as a second language and you're struggling to follow my accent, or you just like to have the accompaniment of the words on the bottom of the screen. So that's also something new that got released just after Christmas. So you can go in and change that whenever you like, or if you don't like the subtitles, you can go into CC and turn them off. The next thing I would like to just quickly do is thank from the bottom of my heart Anne McDougall and Joanne Berger and everyone, Serafina, and everyone else this week who has written a really amazing positive review on How to Be Psychic. I know how precious your time is, and the people that write reviews, like, they take the time to write a few comments about what they liked about the course. It really helps me be able to create more courses. It helps other people see if this is going to be the right course that's going to help them on their journey. And so, if you ever want to write a review in the course, or if you're halfway through and you think, oh, I'd like to change my last review, you just click on the stars in your dashboard and you can amend it whenever you want, or write it whenever you want. Hi, B. So thank you, lovelies, for that. And for everyone who's written wonderful reviews for all my courses in the last couple of weeks, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. So now what I would like to do, I'm just going to, okay, so I'm going to launch into the Q&A in a minute, so where I'm going to go in and share with you the common questions that have been asked. Before I do, I just need to say a very brief word about an incident that happened a few weeks ago in the group. It's the first time this has ever happened in nearly 5 years of this group going, and nearly 2,500 people in the group. So for me, that's an indication of what an amazing group it is. But we did have a bit of a bullying incident, and we did have a bit of a schmozzle that happened when somebody posted something, and it upset a few people. Now, the first thing I'll say is that the best thing to do if someone ever post something and you feel anxious about it, or you don't like it, or you don't agree with it, like, contact me. Or if you're dealing with someone in a group, and in this group, and something's gone wrong with a reading or whatever, contact me. I'm the best source to get in, because what often happens with Facebook is people don't know who you are. And if you go in and post something that might be a bit inflammatory, or it might be misconceived in your intentions, then it can get everyone all very, very upset. And it's just not a very good environment on that level, because we're not face to face, and we often will say things that we might not say in person. And I know I had a few people, and I'm so grateful to the people, because I was away that day, grateful to the people who reached out to me and let me know that there were some problems going on. They let me know there was a bit of bullying going on. And look, and all I can say to anyone who's ever engaged in that is, please, whenever you're posting on Facebook or in this group or anywhere, like, just treat people how you want to be treated. Like, just write things and think to yourself, how would I feel if someone wrote that to me? And be really kind of, compassionate in your communications. We're all trying to come from a point of love and kindness here. So before you post things, and if you're going to go on an attack of anyone, or you're going to be doing anything that you think they might feel upset about, then maybe reach out to them in person, rather than any kind of publicly, being a bit nasty, or writing comments that might be hurtful. So, as I said, it's quite an amazing miracle that this has never happened before. It has happened once in Tarot Mastery, and this is the first time it's happened in How to Be Psychic. So I thought I would just reiterate to everyone, please come to me first if you've got an issue with anyone in the group. I'm your first point of call. Email me through Kathy, or, I might be away for a day or two, and I'm sorry, I just can't be in here every day, but just try to reach out to me first at the team@saljade.com email, and try to reach out to me, rather than, get everyone engaged in something that's going to really make people upset, and really get a situation going where I had 3 or 4 people contact me and they were quite freaked out. So, and again, so just, for those of you who did reach out to me and let me know, thank you for letting me know that was going on. Now, hello everyone. Hi Lily. Hello Erin. Hello Raina. Hello Melissa. Hello. Okay, so now to the super duper yummy positive stuff. The Q&As. So I'm going to start with Lydia, who's great that she's here. So Lydia asked a question in the Facebook group that's actually probably a lot more common than people realise. And please don't ever be afraid to ask this question. And that is, I tried the guided meditation and it didn't work for me. And I've tried it a few times and it's not working. Does this mean my guides are angry with me? Does this mean that I'm doing something wrong? Now, the first thing I wanted to share is that this journey of yours as a psychic and an intuitive is an incredibly deeply spiritual journey that's very personal. And while people like I will create these courses and say this is how you can best access them, sometimes the way you do it will be totally different. And that's because your brain is different. So I've often done healings on people in the past, and I've had a very structured way that I do the healing. And sometimes it just hasn't worked, and I've had to go, okay, their brain's just a little bit different, and there's nothing wrong with that, like, at all. It just means I've got to find a different way to access what I need to access in their cellular memories so that we can get the same result. And being able to connect with your guides and angels is exactly the same. So if you are not someone who naturally feels like when you go into a guided meditation, so the first thing I suggest you do always is just go straight to the cards, like play with your oracle cards and see if you feel like you get accurate messages through them. Build up your confidence and then go back to the meditation. Look at any blockages that you might have experienced, and look, nearly every psychic and healer I know at one stage or another goes through blockages, and beginners more than everyone, because we do try to control it. When I first got started, I was very much like, okay, well, Doreen Virtue's saying this, and so it should look like this, but it doesn't look like that. It looks like this, and what does this mean? Am I not a real psychic? And I kind of played with that for a long time before I was able to go, wait a minute, I just need to have this experience and see what happens. And if this part doesn't work, I'll try something else. And I'll be quite honest with you, so crystal ball gazing, for example, doesn't work for me. I've tried it. I have sat there, I've meditated, I've looked in, and it's just not my thing. So for any of you that have not had success with the guided meditation, there could be something else that is your thing. And as I said, start with the cards and build that up. I would also, and I've noticed this, and it was funny, I was just thinking about this then when I was getting ready, I would call in the angel of synchronicity to help you recognize synchronicity instead of being worried about, connecting with your guides in a traditional formal way, like a guided meditation. And the reason I say that is because I haven't been doing readings for the last few months. I've been concentrating on my teachings and my courses. That what sort of happens to me when I'm not reading as much for other people is that I start to get lots and lots more synchronicities. So it's almost like my psychic gifts are like hungry for something to do. And so the other day, for example, I went to see Phil Collins with my husband, and we were sitting there waiting for him, and we started talking about, who would we really love to see as an artist? And we both kind of went, oh, you know what, I'd really love to see Elton John. I'd love to see Elton John. And after the concert, we went home, and we switched on the television, and it was an Elton John special. And that's never happened to me in my whole life. And at the same concert that morning, I'd been saying to my husband about this lovely French lady I met at the Lady Posse Christmas party and in Brisbane, which is like an hour and a half from where I live. And I was saying, I said, I really liked her, and I'd love to do one of her courses. I really vibed with her. And we were leaving Phil Collins, and she just sort of called my name out, and I turned around. There's 40,000 people at Phil Collins, I might add, and she saw me in the crowd, and I'd only just started talking about her that morning to my husband, and so again, from a party that I met her at once, a month ago. So the synchronicity thing, call on your angels to help you recognize synchronicity and work with your oracle cards, and that might make you feel a little bit more like, okay, I'm seeing psychic connection here. And it might be different to how Sal says or other psychic teachers says, but I'm going to start on that level and see where that takes me. And what I find with people who don't immediately connect when they're going up like that is they often start to use the cards. And if you're using your crystals and doing a bit of chakra healing and asking the angels to clear your chakras, even if you can't visualize it or feel it, then you'll just start doing cards, and you'll get a little like, oh, I think this means this, and I feel like this means this, and you'll get more natural at it. So I would definitely try that first, Lily, and anyone else who struggles with the meditation. Please don't feel like if you don't get it right, it means that you're not a psychic and you'll never be. It just means that the particular medium I've created for you and the course isn't going to be resonating with how you're going to go on your journey. And as I said, so just go into cards and play with them, and then look at any blockages you might have. Is it a third eye blockage? Is it something that's blocking you on another level? Are you feeling worried? Is it a past life fear? Like looking at what maybe could be behind it if you do really want to connect with guides and angels in that way that I've talked about in the course. So I'm going to open up some questions. Debbie, it was intense. Yes, it was. Oh, pleasure, Lily. Absolute pleasure. Okay, so now the second question that I got asked, and I get asked this a little bit too, now especially when we have a lot of sales, like around Black Friday, for example, people might go and buy 5 or 6 of my courses all at once. So I've got 8 courses, and people might go out and buy them all, and then they're like, well, where do I start? And is there a sequential order? So I think to get you started, you should definitely start on How to Be Psychic, which you obviously have because you're here, you're in the group, or Tarot Mastery. Like one or the other is either fine. Now, if you start through the course and you start to feel like you've got some blockages, like you start to feel like this isn't working for me, or I'm trying these exercises and it's not working, then I would go on to look at either boost your psychic gifts with EFT tapping, or remove your remove psychic blocks with past life therapy. Because what I find with people is when they're blocked, it's often because they have some kind of blockage that's unconscious or that they're not aware of. And so I created those 2 courses because I was helping a lot of my clients when they were coming to me with their psychic blocks, and I use that stuff to help myself when I'm feeling blocked. And so I would definitely, you start How to Be Psychic. If you feel like you try with the cards and it doesn't do much, or you try with the meditation, then do one of the ones to unblock you, and then move on to one of the intermediate ones. So the intermediate ones are intermediate psychic readings, Oracle Cards and Angels, or Master Health Readings, which covers health readings and pregnancy readings for tarot and oracle. So that's what I would do if that's your direction. Now, if you start with How to Be Psychic and you feel like you're flying through it and you feel like, yep, no, that was a breeze, then don't worry about the blockage courses and you can just go straight on to the intermediate level ones. So that's how I would do it if I was running it. And then if you get to the stage where you want to think about opening a business, then you can do Build Your Spiritual Business on a Budget. So that's, so I hope that helps for those of you who are a bit worried about which order to do everything. Now, next question, which is about to fly off because we've got wind on the building for the first time. We've had no wind for 3 weeks, and here it is. Okay. Now, so I'm sorry I've forgotten your name, but some lovely student posted on the Q&A board recently, I don't visualize anything, but I feel vibrations in my body. Does this mean I'm not psychic? Now, no, that's absolutely not the case. Like, and as I mentioned in the course, some of the most absolutely gifted psychics I know don't see, they don't visualize, like they just feel things. And in all the years I've been working with psychic students, it's like so often I can sit there with them and I can see that they're struggling, but it's like I will often feel like stuff's coming through and they say it first. They go, I felt like this and this, this. And I said, yeah, you're spot on. You're fine. You're on the right track. You're just feeling it, or you're hearing it, or you're knowing it. You're just not seeing it. And I know there is a real, we're a visual society. There's a real pressure to see. But most of the professional, like clairvoyants I know, they go, yeah, I'm a clairvoyant and I have other things. But, I know lots of others that just don't clairvoyantly see. They just feel, and they sit there and they'll do a whole 1 hour reading with never seeing anything. And they just know, or they hear. So really, or they feel, a lot of them really feel. So please don't put that pressure if you can't visualize. That doesn't mean you are not going to be psychic at all. Like, quite the opposite. It just means that, again, like I mentioned earlier, you've just got different gifts and they'll come to you in different ways, and just don't put that pressure on yourself at all. And I go through stages where my clairvoyance just shuts off and it's just hearing. It's all hearing. I'm just getting messages and I'm like blah, 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 or it's just feeling or knowing. And that's, that's okay too if that happens to you. Don't pressure yourself if you're not always seeing. The next one, now I have talked about this a fair bit before, and I am now going to write a lecture and add it to the end of your course because I do recognise it's confusing, and obviously new students coming to the course, and that is the confusion around the fact that I do recommend Doreen Virtue products in the course. And as some of you may know, Doreen Virtue has gone on a very different spiritual path in the last 12 months, 18 months. So, and for those of you who don't know, Doreen Virtue has renounced psychic development and any kind of connection with angel cards or tarot cards or goddess cards, and she's kind of disassociated herself and gone quite hardline Christian, and a lot of people really struggled with that, and my only advice was, that's her journey, and we can't really judge, but it is confusing, and it is, because there's all these products and we think, I'm using a product from someone who doesn't even believe in it anymore. And all I can say from my experience is that I don't think there's anything that she or Hay House or anyone can ever do that will stop me loving those goddess cards. Like, I love them so much. And so maybe it does breach ethics. I don't know. But for me, I just think some of her products are very, very good for beginners. I think they're very nice basic level things to get used to. And as I said, I still use her goddess cards. I just love them. And I still think that there's a couple of other decks that I still really resonate with. I haven't bought anything new of hers, I have to say, but I do. If you are looking for a deck to use, then hers are very great on that basic level. But if not, there are plenty of other great card creators out there. There's Tony Carmine Solano, there's Colette Barron-Reed, there's Denise Lynn, Alana Fairchild. There's plenty of people coming out with great decks. So don't feel that you have to use hers. I used hers in the course because she was the one who trained me, and way back when it came to reading oracle cards. So that's why I used her cards. I was familiar with them. But you feel free to use whatever you want to use, and make that decision how you feel inside about it. Okay, now I think that's everything I wanted to. Oh, okay. Oh, now before I open the floor and ask, B says she definitely feels things. Yes. Now, if anyone wants to ask a question about the course, please feel free, or your psychic development, chuck it in here right now. And before I go, I just want to let you know that on Friday I'm releasing a new Udemy course. So I'm very excited. I'm doing a collaboration with the very wonderful Miriam Castella, who is a wealth and manifesting coach. And the reason I wanted to do this course is because one of the most common questions I now get asked in, years down the track of teaching psychic development is, I want to start this business. I want to be a professional reader or a professional healer, and I've started and I'm not getting any clients. And so I went in and I thought, okay, why do so many healers and psychics struggle with money? Like really more than any other entrepreneur that I know. And I'm in a lot of different entrepreneur groups. Healers and psychics seem to be the ones that struggle the most with manifesting money and manifesting abundance in their business. And so I got together with Miriam and we shared all of our very best techniques and about how to manifest money in your business if you are someone who wants to run a healing and psychic business. And Miriam is amazing because she is not only a wealth coach, but she has a very amazing insight into the spiritual aspect of manifestation, but she's also a financial advisor. So she actually knows those practicals about money and the practicals of running a business. And she actually used to be an engineer as well. a lot of different little varieties there in her gorgeous career. But she's amazing at being able to talk about the business practicals without freaking people out. And as healers and psychics, myself included, those business practicals can be a little bit freaky. So releasing that course hopefully on Friday on Udemy. I will post, you guys will be the first to get it. So this group, for those of you who don't know, you guys are always the first to get my new courses. And that's because this was my very first course. And so out of gratitude, I'm always going to give it to you guys before I start letting anyone else even look at it. So it's going to be coming out hopefully Friday, might be Monday, depending on how quickly it gets approved and our editing gets finished. But yes, definitely chuck it. If you are interested, by all means, tag yourself here and I can remind you if you want, or as I said, it will be, I'll let you guys all know and I'll post in here about it. So that is, I'm very excited about that. And if you guys have any other questions, oh, hello, Danny. Hello. Oh, what a beautiful thing to say. Thank you for doing what you do and thank you for helping us to learn what you do. Much love. Thank you, Danny. That's beautiful. Leslie, can I see orbs with the naked eye? I've seen a lot of orbs that are always in my room and I only used to see them with camera. That's a really good question. Yeah, I see that rainbow kind of, yeah, I've seen them like in that image, but I think most people do pick them up on camera. But no, I've seen them like in water usually, like a kind of, now I'm trying to visualize what I've seen. I see that kind of little bubble, but mostly they come out on camera is what I've seen. New course, yay, B. Thank you, Leslie. You're interested? Wonderful. I will make sure I tag you. Anybody else? I always get so excited when I see orbs. It's kind of like, oh, look at that. No, everyone. Okay. Thank you so much for joining me. As I said, this is going to be happening every month. So it'll be the last week of the month unless I'm away, if I'm on retreat or something or teaching somewhere else. And I will be coming in here. And if you ever have any questions, by all means, just, pop them in and I will answer them throughout this session for you. Mwah, have an absolutely awesome day. And to my friends in the Midwest of the US, I just read an article to say that you guys are freezing while we are burning. So I'm praying that we all get a bit more balance in our weather. We've been having like 110 degrees solid and I think you guys have been having the complete opposite. So yes, I'm praying for a bit more balance in our weather system just for the next few months. See you later, guys, and bye.